Alright, welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet. Well, the Janaza-Ghaib or funeral in absentia of Tahir Habib was held recently in Khai Gala, a village in Rawalkote, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Well, Tahir was one of the 3 terrorists neutralized in Operation Mahadev conducted last week by Indian security forces in Srinagar. He had been a Category A wanted terrorist linked to the Pahalgam terror attack on the 22nd of April, which claimed the lives of 26 innocent civilians. Videos and pictures show the elderly of Khai Gala in Rawalkote gathered for the funeral. But the funeral took an unexpected turn when local Lashkar-e-Taiba commander Rizwan Hanif tried to be a part of it. Tahir's family explicitly barred Lashkar members from attending the funeral, but Hanif insisted, leading to a confrontation. And according to sources, Lashkar operatives threatened mourners with guns, sparking outrage amongst villagers. The bottom line is, well, Pakistan's involvement in the Pahalgam terror attack is undeniable now. We'll talk about this and a lot more with our guest joining us on the program. Ambassador Bhasmati Mukherjee, former diplomat, with us on the program. Major General Sudhakar Ji, senior geopolitical and strategic defense expert, joins us too. Mr. Adit Kothari, foreign affairs expert, with us on the program here as well. Last but by no means the least, Mr. Sumit Peer, senior political commentator on the program as well. Sumit Peer, I'll begin with you. Well, we have always known it, you have always known it, the government knows it, the people of Kashmir on this side know it. It's very, very evident that the Americans also know it, but this seems to be some sort of a sham, I can call it that, Sumit, for a lack of a better word, that the Western civilization has bought into when it comes to Pakistan. If you look at how deceptive and rudimentary this country is in terms of its terrorist roots, it's pretty evident that India can show this visual as well to convince the UNSC of Pakistan's involvement.
Vinay, thank you very much for having me on your channel. First of all, beautiful question. You have summed it beautifully. I have to thank my armed forces for conducting a beautiful Operation Mahadev. And by the grace of God, will give them so many opportunities of Janaza-Ghaib. So they can hire a Molvi, they can float a tender. We are going to give them so many opportunities. Let them float a tender, let them fix the rate. Right? थोड़ा प्राइस ऊपर नीचे होता है ना, so that they can just send an invitation, okay, Janaza-Ghaib, Maulvi ji come will and do it. Because now after Operation Sindoor, we have told Pakistan, we are going to hit you and we'll keep on hitting you. And for their good friend and the buddy who wanted to do all the oil deals with them, Donald John Trump, he must look into it. He must say what his good friends in Pakistan are doing. You must try which ceasefire he tried to broker. And incidentally, I was looking for what it did. They should have even invited the Pakistani ambassador to, American ambassador to Pakistan to be a part of that grand ceremony, so that Americans could get a first-hand account how this Janaza-Ghaib or Ghalib is done, whatever you call it. So how it is done. So it has been a good moment. I think it's a wake-up call. People know what has been happening. People know what it is doing. I think it's a testimony to our successful Operation Sindoor and then Operation Mahadev. It's a great congratulations to our people, because we have to. This is how it will be done. Vineet, I've been very categoric. जब तक वहाँ जनाजा नहीं उठेगा, तब तक यहाँ शांति नहीं होगी. And these janazas should be picked up from Rawalpindi, from Punjab, and these their janazas have to come up, not these disposable jihadis. Okay, they are a good catch, but ultimately it has to go to that level. And for United States of America, they should still wake up and smell coffee. I want to talk to Mr. Donald Trump. Look, sir, you have been very talking gun-go about Pakistan, India buying Pakistani oil. India is a dead economy. And some of your, chela chapatas here have been echoing your voice. But my thing is, why don't you open 6 months visa on arrival for Pakistanis? They're your best buddies, best trade partners. Open. I dare you open 6 months visa on arrival for Pakistanis. Then your America will be turned upside down. Why you issued a level 3 advisory for Americans to go to Pakistan? They're your best buddies. You're going to find petrol together. We are going to change revolutionize the world. This is hypocrisy, but India has said its stance very clear. We are going to hit you as and when it takes. That is why I was advising Pakistanis, float a tender, get a rate contract done, so that next time there is not enough of a problem. You will always have these Maulvis who can come and do it, because this is not going to stop till the time Pakistan is not broken into 4 parts. We have to break them into 4 parts, and we have to let world know. No dossier, no detail, direct deal na seedha upar. That is how it has to be done, and that is how it will be done. Let what is John Donald Trump or anybody, whoever is listening to it, let anybody and everybody is listening. Next time, these Pakistanis are requested to even invite the American ambassador in Pakistan for this grand ceremony so that he can send a first-hand report, an audio-visual report to his bosses in Washington, D.C. and tell them what kind of a great ceasefire you have brokered.
Ambassador Mukherjee, is there going to be further deniability now from Pakistan? Or do you think that, the second corroboration has more or less, nailed India's stance when it comes to Pakistan being the harborer as well as the curator of terrorist activities throughout the world?
Pakistan will continue to deny it till doomsday. If you remember, in the case of Ajmal Kasab, his parents used to ring up from Lahore to ask about their son. But still the Pakistanis denied, and when he was hanged, they refused to take back his body. So this video and the photos which have come in are absolute damning evidence that there is a clear Pakistani establishment and Pakistani army hand in what happened in Pahalgam. But the point is that Pakistan will continue to deny it. But it will be difficult for Pakistan's friends, including its friends in the West, and of course, China will support Pakistan. But in the West, it will start raising eyebrows and many questions because in the West, they are sensitive to these kind of videos. The fact that the elite Lashkar-e-Taiba guys try to barge into a private funeral by family, it also demonstrates that the locals are not in favor of their kids getting into the clutches of elite. That is also very interesting, that they wanted a private funeral. The other issue here is that Operation Mahadev was important for closure, for the mourning of the relatives of the victims of Pahalgam. They needed Operation Mahadev, and so did the country, because we were all waiting to be informed that those who perpetrated these massacres have been eliminated. So that was very important for us. I agree that there are much bigger fish to fry, which I'm sure we will do in our own time. But this was very important. After Operation Sindoor, Operation Mahadev at least closed one chapter for the families of the victims. The other issue here is that we have been providing evidence systematically to our allies in the West and to the United States about Pakistani involvement in terrorist activities, heinous terrorist attacks directed at India. Despite that, they have been very slow in responding. If India had been in a similar position, they would have condemned us immediately, straight away, without any hesitation. So at least with this damning evidence, we would be able to tell our Western interlocutors, as well as the UN, because it's against international law what happened in Pahalgam, that Pakistan, thankfully, its chairmanship of the UN Security Council ended on 31st of July. So at least one nuisance is over for us. But we need to take it up at every level, and we need to disseminate it through social media and through our own media, through our diplomats, through our interlocutors in the West, etc., to organizations and entities which are very sensitive on these issues, like the Human Rights Council, like the French Assemblée Nationale, organizations, European Parliament, organizations which are particularly sensitive to these kind of issues. We need to disseminate it so that people understand that Pakistan, until it is broken up into four pieces, is a country harboring terror. It is the harbinger of terror. The Americans are most welcome to go and get shot down in Balochistan, which has already told United States that Balochistan is an independent country which is under foreign occupation. That's how the Balochis reacted to President Trump telling us to buy Pakistani oil. They're most welcome to go and try. It's not an issue for us. But we have to keep at it and keep chasing these guys until they understand that any major terrorist attack on India will be treated, as PM said, as an act of war. Vineet.
General Sudhakarji, what does this also tell you about PoK, where a lot of this training and indoctrination has been going on unabated for the past few decades?
Yeah, Vinit, good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show, and compliments to very distinguished and eminent panelists. They deserve to have the last say on the subject. First and foremost, I wish to compliment NewsX to pick up such themes and flag the issue. It makes a lot of difference because we do not have a formal structure of information warfare. Information warfare primarily should be based on the truth. And there are far and few agencies who actually highlight the truth. And I think NewsX is doing an excellent job. As regards the question which you have asked, I think the time has come. Short and sweet answer to your question is it's about time that the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir needs to be taken back at the earliest. I do understand, not by a military operation, but by a non-military operation. It's happening. It's happening in an incremental manner. But the fact remains that it is radicalized, it is polarized, it doesn't have any democratic institution. There is no machinery, administrative machinery existing. The grievances of the people are not, leave alone being addressed, they are not being heard. The people's representative are not there. And the basic entitlements which they rightfully should be having access to, of water or fresh air or the employment opportunities or the products of their own region, are not being provided to them. It's being denied to them. So now this is one part which has actually got highlighted. This is very interesting. In fact, I didn't know this particular terminology, that it is happening in absentia of the deceased. There are many such things which will happen, and we need to actually highlight the truth. And the truth in this is that no matter how long the global powers try to take sides of Pakistan, mindful of the fact what the truth is, I'm only fearing that 9/11 kind of a thing should not be happening once again to one of these global powers in very immediate future, if they don't actually call out the truth and be on the side of the truth. Having said this, when you talk about the Pakistan occupied Jammu Kashmir, there are more than, I'm told, the latest figure I have is 26 places, out of which I think we have counted good numbers. We let them go this time. Maybe next time when the opportunity comes, the Operation Sindoor is on. Let's see how far we go. I was just reading a book in relation to your question. Four brotherhood. There is a thing called as, which is opened up in Bangladesh, four brotherhood. One is being led by Taliban, another is being headed by the ISI, the third one is being headed by some agency of Pakistan. They're actually, pumping in money to Bangladesh, playing a big role. They want to shift the epicenter of what is happening in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir to Bangladesh and open up a new front for India. This is happening under the leadership of China. China, Bangladesh, and Pakistan want to form a kind of a devil triangle. So India has to remain very careful, calibrate all its response metrics. Now the time has come, Vinit, if you allow me, I would like to suggest through your channel. I think we have done well as far as Op Sindoor is concerned. It's a landmark. It's a very high-end kind of an operation, successful conduct of an operation in 21st century with standoff mechanism. But we need to now look at, preventing the occurrence or launching of these people from across, be it in the enemy territory or elsewhere. We need to neutralize these people. Our intelligence has to be so accurate, and we need to actually, bring all the platforms together, surveillance platform, reconnaissance platform, intelligence platform, all of them together. We understand that the RAW has done a commendable job. Our diplomats are doing, they're the fabulous, they're second to none in the world. And there are multiple agencies who are working round the clock. We need to actually make it happen so that we preempt the launching of these people, and the tap of water of terrorism which is flowing from Rawalpindi
must be closed and shut permanently. That will happen only if the chief of the Pakistan army,
You're
chief
absolutely
of
right,
army
sir.
staff, is taken into.
You're absolutely right, sir. And in fact, let me also rope in Adit Kothari into this conversation. Adit, how about sending this recent report about Pakistan's involvement and patronage to terrorism to Donald Trump, who's got big ambitions for Pakistan, including developing their oil reserves?
So, Vineet, when we talk about the West, and we would have imagined that something like a 9/11 or a 7/7 bombings in London would have been a wake-up call for the Western democracies. But it turns out no. There is a good reason why, they haven't woken up uh, to the epicenter of terrorism, which is Pakistan. Because ultimately, Pakistan is the creation of the Anglo-American enterprise. Without their existence, without their help and aid, Pakistan would have never been able to be established where it is today. So that is what explains the clear blind spot and the mindless blind spot from the Western democracies, which is why, Donald Trump and the Keir Starmers of the world will continue to provide patronage and, intellectual cover fire to the Pakistani establishment. But we have to look at deeper to what Major General Sudhakarji just pointed out, that we have to bring in platforms together in India to be able to combat this menace better. There was a report that came out just after the Pahalgam attacks, that the satellite imagery from the Pahalgam area was in high demand with Maxa, which is the satellite firm. When Business Systems Intelligence, which is a Pakistani firm which is owned by a individual called Ubaidullah Sayed, when they became part of Maxar, when they officially became part of Maxar, the surge for the Pahalgam area was was seen. This is something that should have been picked up by our agencies, and we should have been able to dwindle down into the point that there is something which is brewing up in Pakistan, which is pointing towards a terror attack or an imminent terror attack in India. So those platforms need to be conjoined, and we need to be prepared, because the Western democracies will continue to provide that sort of cover fire to Pakistan. There is no doubt that they are hands in glove with it. M4 M4s were used as part of the attacks here. Major General Sudhakarji will probably concur with me that M4 is probably a standard issue to the Pakistani army. So the Pakistani army involvement is clear as daylight. When Pathankot happened, we gave them unprecedented access to the Pathankot air bases, to the ISI and to the Pakistani counterparts. What did that yield? Nothing. So when they talk about giving us evidence and giving us more evidence and more dossiers, we have gone through those exercises time and time again, from 26/11 to Pathankot to number of other incidents prior to that. Everybody knows about the asymmetrical warfare, which is a part of a stated, calibrated policy of the Pakistani establishment. This is not hidden. From the 1970s, they wanted to bleed India with 1,000 cuts, and they have been doing it. I think the time has come that India also needs to adopt asymmetrical warfare as part of its strategy to create a countermeasure to Pakistani narrative. Vineet.
All right. Concluding thoughts from everyone, starting with Sumit Peer. Sumit, what do you think India's next step should be, especially when it comes to diplomatic outreach?
I think our diplomacy has been fantastic. We're more than fantastic. You are expecting them to do a better 10 out of 10. Well, I don't know how much is that is possible. But the thing is that, what I call as military diplomacy, one hand is military, another hand is diplomacy. Ye samajh nahi aata, so this is always ready. Now, when I look at the formation of two battalions, and particularly Rudra and Bhairava, I think when I look at the formation of them, they're exactly meant to do what an army is supposed to do and would be doing in the future. Because what I have read about them, I think these people can do operations across LOC and across LAC if required, and they can be preventive in nature, quick deployment, combined units, battle hardened. This is the only way to counter this jihad, and I think this video, this footage should be sent personally to the press secretary of United States of America and to the chief of the staff of the White House, and even to Marco Rubio, if you can, and tell him this is what happened for what is what's happening in your best buddy Pakistan's backyard. They're doing this Janaza-Ghaib or whatever. This is what we did. We killed a terrorist and a Janaza is happening there. So if you could have your valued comments, and we'll be very pleased if the American press secretary in her tomorrow morning's briefings could have a 1 or 2 sentences on this. How do they see the next cooperation building up in Pakistan, and how can this help them to find more oil?
All right, Ambassador Mukherjee.
Well, we must have shared this immediately with the Americans. That's standard operating procedure because we have intelligence sharing. Whether they acknowledge it publicly or not, they will certainly reflect on it because they have very smart people out there, the intelligence agencies, who are fully aware of the dangers posed to American interests. Because let's not forget that the Iranian president was given a warm welcome in Pakistan. They've been very quick to reassure the Chinese. So if that is not called being completely what you call in the 400 BC type of politics, what is it? You are asking India to buy oil from these people, or what are you going to get from them? Nothing. You're not going to get anything from them. But you are alienating a most important strategic partner who is going to host your Quad summit for you in September. So I think it's a wake-up call for the Americans, this Janaza or whatever it's called, which is, I presume, a funeral in absentia. They're most welcome to pick up the bodies. In fact, each time we kill a Pakistani terrorist, we treat the body with respect. We are not like them, and we contact through our own channels of communication, the Pakistanis on the other side, or through our DGMOs. When we say that you can pick up at the border the body of your terrorist, and you can bury him with honor if you wish to do so, and they immediately say, he doesn't belong to us, he's not a Pakistani, he's a local, he's doing this because he's fed up with Indian rule in Kashmir, etc. That's standard operating procedure. They actually found it extremely difficult to deny the citizenship of Ajmal Kasab, because it was Ajmal Kasab himself who kept saying who he was, and they kept saying this is being done under a torture from the Indian authorities. But still, I think that this is a very good step forward, and we will keep at it. And as Sumit pointed out in a rather bloodthirsty manner, though I do agree with him, we should continue with these activities, perhaps without articulating them so brilliantly on national television, but we should continue with these activities so that the threat perception on our side is lowered, particularly in the summer months before the rains set in and before winter. That is the vulnerable period when they try to push people across.
Right.
It has come down, I must say, in recent months, but that is because of sustained pressure and the lessons from Operation Sindoor, which led to their DGMO suing for peace with our DGMO, not Trump, but their DGMO. Vineet.
All right, okay. General Sudhakarji, quickly, sir, 30 seconds.
First and foremost, when it comes to anything happening towards Pakistan, generally every Indian gets fixated with Pakistan. Security being a very, very large canvas, we need to look towards the other side, what is happening in Bangladesh, and particularly there is a meeting which took place on 18th of June at Kunming. China, led by China, Bangladesh and Pakistan. This is a new front getting collaborated on the names of trade and investment. Soon it is going to have military alliance. So therefore I call it as a devil triangle. India should be very careful. Second, there is a map of Greater Dhaka or Greater Bangladesh, which is floating around. India should not ignore it as a nonsense. It is a very serious thing. We need to calibrate our approach, take it up seriously. Third, the Siliguri corridor is becoming more sensitive. We need to look at it. Fourth is that there is a optical fiber which has been laid between the headquarters of Western Theatre of China and that of Rawalpindi. this is facilitating a particular thing called as network centric. Network centric means even a soldier on the ground, he is getting connected to the satellite on top. Pakistan may not have one, but satellite of China, and that satellite is providing information about the potential target and the engagement by our projectiles or the enemy's projectile, and giving mid-course correction till the terminal engagement. So
right,
this
sir.
is a very high advanced
All right.
kind of a thing which China has expertise
Adit,
developed.
Adit, quickly, 10 seconds to you, Adit, and then we have to wrap up.
We spoke about the blind spot for the world, which is Pakistan. I think Major General Sudhakarji correctly pointed out that Bangladesh is a blind spot for India. I mean, because I come from West Bengal, I can tell you that we are the first casualties of whatever transpires in West Bengal. I've in fact written this article today for the Sunday Guardian. Vineet, I'm going to share this with you, and you should also read that.
Thanks you so
Vineet.
much. Please do share that with me. I appreciate everybody who joined us and weighed in on this very important development for India, which can be leveraged to our advantage. We take a short break now. Be right back.